In today's Monday Movie Musings, Matt Perrin shares his take on the film Judas and the Black Messiah.
Welcome to another Monday. We had a couple of new options for film this weekend. As much as I like Kristen Wiig, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar was never in the cards for me. I didn't see anything funny in any of the trailers, so I decided to take a look at something a little more poignant. Fred Hampton is a figure in American civil rights history that flies under the radar. I knew his story, but only through oral and written telling, so I was excited to see it play out on film. So without any further ado, let's jump right in and take a look at Judas and the Black Messiah. Our film takes place in the late 60s. Fred Hampton, played by Daniel Kaluuya, has just been made chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. J. Edgar Hoover considered him to be a huge threat and stressed that he must be discredited and taken out of power immediately. We now look at Bill O'Neill, played by Lakeith Stanfield. He's a car thief that gets arrested. The FBI offers to waive his jail time if he will become an inside man in the Panthers and get close to Hampton. Chairman Hampton is as charismatic as they come. He's able to captivate crowds with his words. He feeds the poor and hungry children of Chicago, but most of all, he wants an end to oppression, and he thinks the best way of doing this is to bring peace to all of those who are oppressed. He is able to form the Rainbow Coalition, a group fighting for equality made up not only of Black Panthers, but members of a Chicago gang, along with a white supremacist faction and a party of oppressed Puerto Rican nationals as well. Through this unified front, they're able to protest for said equality and help the poor in ways never before possible. As the movie progresses, we see conflicts arising on all fronts. We see disinformation campaigns being sown by the FBI to break up these allegiances. We see the emotional connection form between Hampton and his fiancée, whose fear for his life permeates the entire film. Constant conflicts with the Chicago PD erupt, resulting in bloodshed, arson, and unsupported jailings. And through it all, we see FBI agent Roy Mitchell intimidating and manipulating Bill. He has him doing things that don't sit well with him, but always with that threat of jail for his past crimes. All of this done so the FBI could prevent Hampton from becoming the titular Black Messiah. We as the audience, whether we know the story or not, find ourselves engrossed by the performances, hanging on until the end to see exactly where we are going to end up. So, what to say about this one? As I mentioned at the beginning, I knew the story of Fred Hampton, so I knew exactly how the movie was going to play out. But I was still glued to the story the entire time. Having listened to a podcast recently that played out these exact events, I could talk more about it, but I don't want to spoil the events of the movie for those who don't know Hampton's story. But what was really cool was how accurately events were portrayed. Like I said, I had heard these events before and had always wanted to see exactly how Hampton was able to persuade these opposing groups to band together, and this movie shows you exactly that. Just fascinating to see the charisma of Hampton and what he accomplished in the 2-year timeline of this movie. Of course, that speaks a lot of Daniel Kaluuya. He really gets into character. We all loved him in Get Out, but his last couple of roles haven't been the nicest characters. It's nice to be able to root for him again. Speaking of Get Out, Lakeith Stanfield really brings the range in this one. Just an excellent job of personifying turmoil. Dominique Fishback as Deborah is nothing but powerful, and Jesse Plemons has the most punchable face in Hollywood. But I think that's a testament to how well he keeps playing these awful characters. I see some nomination in this film's future, and it's one that should be seen. If you know the story, you still get sucked in, and if you don't know the story, it's one that you absolutely should. This has been your Monday Movie Musing. Back to you.
All right, stick with us. Tyler has one last look at your forecast when the news at noon continues.